Welcome to the Dodgers Blue News channel. Before the news, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Now, let's get to the Dodgers news.
Hey Dodgers fans! Gather around because there's some hot news brewing on the horizon in Los Angeles. The name shaking up the headlines is Paul Skenes. Ever since he put on that black and gold Pittsburgh Pirates uniform, the future of this LSU Tigers standout has been a topic at every baseball table. With the Major League Baseball trade season knocking at the door, the rumors are taking over the backstage chatter. ESPN just threw more fuel on the fire by listing several teams interested in Skenes, one of the top talents in MLB. Talk about him isn't new, but now that July is here, speculation is growing that the Pirates might end up parting ways with their most valuable arm. The Dodgers, who are always hovering around big deals by tradition, have come up again. Even without being desperate for a new starting pitcher, Los Angeles always finds itself in these stories. Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow are still dealing with shoulder issues, and although there's hope Glasnow returns soon, no one's quite sure how he'll perform on the mound. This is the same Los Angeles Dodgers team that, over the last decade, hasn't been afraid to part with promising players to keep the payroll in check and reshape the roster. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Pirates continue stuck at the bottom of the National League, struggling even to pick up wins. Jeff Passan from ESPN was straightforward in saying that Skenes should be the only untouchable on the roster before the deadline, but the question lingering behind the scenes is whether an offer from a powerhouse like the Dodgers could change that. David Schoenfield even outlined a blockbuster proposal that would send Skenes to Los Angeles in exchange for Dalton Rushing, Josue De Paula, Alex Freeland, Emmett Sheehan, and Jackson Ferris heading to Pittsburgh. That's a hefty price. Rushing was recently the Dodgers' top prospect, and De Paula and Freeland sit in MLB Pipeline's overall top 50, meaning pure talent leaving. For a team that can't climb out of a hole, getting 3 or 4 solid players ready to grow could be more valuable than having an ace dominating the mound just once a week. Meanwhile, the Dodgers, with their checkbook always ready, don't have to wait on development. And with Skenes, they'd immediately slot a monster arm at the top of the rotation. The former LSU star would fit perfectly in Los Angeles and make the team even more feared. It would be another step in turning this roster into an unbeatable super team. And it wouldn't be the first time the Dodgers have shown they're not afraid to go big to keep raising banners at the stadium. Speaking of Skenes, his season has been nothing short of spectacular. He's logged 125 strikeouts over 116 innings, leading the National League in multiple categories, with an incredible 1.94 ERA and 19 starts. It's not just about effectiveness, it's durability, taking the mound every 5 days without fail. His WAR is an eye-popping 4.8 even before the All-Star break. The battle to start the All-Star game will likely come down to him or Wheeler, though it hasn't been officially announced yet. Meanwhile, there's growing buzz that Skenes can't be too happy with the Pirates' struggles to score runs while he dominates on the mound. Just one win over his last 13 outings, despite a microscopic 1.72 ERA in that stretch. It wouldn't be a shock if he himself looked to move on. For Pittsburgh, which isn't contending yet and probably won't be for a while, trading Skenes could speed up their rebuilding process. Now picture Paul Skenes swapping the Pirates' black and gold for the Dodgers' iconic blue. It would be a move that could completely redefine this young phenom's career. Playing in Los Angeles means stepping onto a different stage, under even brighter lights, with a fan base that lives and breathes baseball with almost unmatched passion. For Skenes, who's used to carrying much of the load in Pittsburgh, it would also be a huge relief to share responsibility in a roster already stacked with stars. On the Dodgers, Skenes would have the chance to focus solely on what he does best, overpower hitters. He wouldn't need to be the savior of the season, because this team has a winning structure, a rotation full of talent, and a lineup capable of putting runs on the board in virtually any inning. That allows a pitcher to take the mound with peace of mind, knowing he doesn't have to be perfect every time. It's the kind of environment that extends careers and maximizes performance. There's also the technical development aspect. The Dodgers are known for their elite pitching department, working to refine every detail, from grip and mechanics to recovery timing and opponent analysis. For Skenes, it would mean having some of the best analysts and coaches in baseball by his side, fine-tuning his already lethal arsenal. Imagine what he could achieve with those resources day in and day out. Not to mention the winning culture. Putting on a Dodgers uniform means joining a club that constantly aims to compete for championships. The mindset is competitive from spring training through October, and Skenes would have the opportunity to pitch in big series nearly every year. For a competitor like him, who showed at LSU just how much he loves the big stage, it would be perfect. Experiencing playoff nights at Dodger Stadium, feeling the crowd roar with every out, and directly helping chase another World Series would be a massive leap in his journey. Off the field, there's the market. Playing in Los Angeles means gaining national and global visibility, attracting sponsors, becoming a regular face on sports shows, and solidifying his image as one of the faces of MLB. That kind of recognition, beyond opening commercial doors, also builds an athletic legacy. When people start talking Hall of Fame, historic numbers, and record books, these details count. For Skenes, who's already put up impressive numbers early in his career and leads key statistics, being in such an environment could be the final ingredient that turns him not just into a great pitcher, but into one of the names that define an era of baseball. In Los Angeles, he could write chapters forever etched in fans' memories, with complete games, clutch strikeouts, and maybe championship rings to top it all off. Ultimately, wearing Dodger blue would give Paul Skenes the chance to grow in every way, competitively, technically, personally, and historically. He'd be surrounded by a system built to let talent fully blossom, playing on a premier stage, putting himself on the natural path to the highest awards and recognition baseball has to offer. For a young player with his potential, it's hard to imagine a more favorable scenario. And for Dodgers fans, it would be another elite piece ready to help write new victorious chapters in the club's storied history. Having Paul Skenes on the roster would mean more for the Dodgers than simply adding an elite arm to the rotation. It would be the consolidation of a strategy the club has followed for years, blending proven talent, capable of delivering high-level performance right away, with an already solid structure that maximizes player potential. The Dodgers are known for maintaining a deep roster, able to handle MLB's long and grueling regular season. Even so, few players can offer what Skenes brings to the mound. He's an immediate impact pitcher, someone who not only raises the team's ceiling but also lifts the floor of the rotation. It means having the security that, every 5 days, the team can count on dominant outings, easing the pressure on both the bullpen and the lineup. That's valuable not just to pile up wins during the regular season but also to ensure that bullpen arms are fresh for the critical moments in September and October. In terms of technical fit, Skenes would naturally align with the Dodgers' DNA. He's already shown efficiency in going deep into games, has above-average command of the strike zone, and a repertoire he can vary based on the opponent. This matches the kind of approach the Dodgers value, pitchers who can work against any lineup, in any situation. Skenes wouldn't have to carry the team by himself like he does in Pittsburgh. His presence would relieve pressure on Glasnow, Walker Buehler, Bobby Miller, and the rest of the rotation, while giving the team more flexibility to manage workloads and injuries throughout the year. Another key point, Skenes would be essential for maintaining consistency in long series. Having good pitchers is one thing, having a staff with multiple options to face powerful lineups in playoff matchups, when every detail matters, is another. Skenes could, for example, start Game 1 of a division or championship series, setting up Glasnow or Buehler to follow, making it harder for opponents to adjust. That creates a ripple effect through the rotation and gives the manager flexibility to use openers or tandems if he wants. Also, having Skenes on the roster would give the Dodgers a crucial weapon against teams that heavily rely on advanced stats and adaptable lineups. Skenes has an arsenal that fools hitters on both sides of the plate, with a fastball that explodes in the zone and secondary pitches he already commands, making traditional matchup strategies less relevant. He's not the kind of pitcher who needs to be shielded from specific lefties or righties, which enormously simplifies Dave Roberts' game planning. Off the mound, Skenes would add to the club's competitive atmosphere. The Dodgers foster a culture where excellence is the standard. Having a hungry young player eager to prove himself and improve day after day reinforces that spirit and energizes his teammates. The organization has always excelled at utilizing quiet leadership, players who influence through their posture and professionalism, and everything points to Skenes fitting that mold. From an organizational standpoint, bringing in Skenes would solidify the team's planning not just for now but for the coming seasons. The Dodgers know Snell, Glasnow, and even Buehler have injury histories that need careful monitoring, and plugging Skenes into this context would help ensure the rotation stays at a high level even through potential bumps or setbacks. It could also allow the team to be more patient with the development of other young arms like Gavin Stone or Nick Frasso without having to rush anyone. Ultimately, for the Dodgers, Skenes would be a highly strategic piece, offering immediate results, taking pressure off other areas of the roster, and reinforcing the winning mindset. He'd bring the kind of stability on the mound that makes all the difference over long, taxing seasons, especially thinking ahead to October, when each game is almost like a mini-series on its own. It's not just about adding more talent, but about integrating a player who has everything it takes to be one of the pillars of the next cycle of success, keeping Dodgers Stadium packed and the club consistently at the top of the National League. Looking at this possible trade, it's clear it would be a heavy move for the Dodgers, both in terms of prospect capital and impact on the farm system's planning. Losing names like Dalton Rushing, Josue De Paula, Alex Freeland, Emmett Sheehan, and Jackson Ferris is no small matter. It would mean giving up a sizable chunk of the near future, players who, over the next few years, could establish themselves on the big league roster or serve as key trade chips in other deals. But this is exactly where the Dodgers' philosophy comes into play. Over the past decade, the team has shown it's not afraid to move top minor league assets if it means bringing in a proven talent who elevates the group's level. The front office knows keeping the farm strong is important, but also understands that, at certain moments, the priority has to be the present, especially when the championship window is wide open, like it is now in Los Angeles. On top of that, from a technical standpoint, there's no denying Skenes would justify the investment. He's a pitcher who already leads multiple metrics in the National League, has age and health on his side, and would fit as an anchor for the rotation for years to come. The Dodgers wouldn't just be renting an arm for half a season, they'd be acquiring a potential staff leader who hasn't even hit his prime yet. That always carries significant weight. Of course, it's only natural to consider the risk. Baseball has a rich history of trades that seemed to guarantee immediate success but ended up costing dearly down the line, whether due to unexpected injuries or prospects who blossomed far from Dodger Stadium. But that's a risk big, competitive teams like the Dodgers can absorb. It's part of the game for a franchise that competes at the top year after year and needs to make sure it's armed not just to reach the playoffs, but to keep going until the final out of October. In the end, evaluating this trade comes down to cost versus benefit. And for the Dodgers, the benefit is clear, solidifying a rotation that's already strong, reducing dependence on arms with recent injury histories, and keeping the roster positioned to be a World Series favorite not just in 2025, but for seasons to come. All of this without having to touch the core pieces of the main lineup. For the Pirates, the deal would also make sense. They'd be trading a single generational talent for a robust package of players who could accelerate their rebuild and ensure midterm competitiveness. Baseball is a long, cyclical sport, and for Pittsburgh, it might be smarter to stockpile pieces than to insist on keeping an ace while the rest of the team is still a few steps behind. If this trade does come together, it would be the kind of move that reaffirms how the Dodgers operate, aggressive, confident, and always aiming for the top. Paul Skenes could become not just the name of the moment, but the face of the club's rotation for years ahead, helping to keep Los Angeles a benchmark of excellence in MLB. It's the kind of big bet great franchises make when they're determined to keep raising flags at the top of the stadium. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think? How do you see this potential trade? Do you think it's worth giving up so many promising young players to have Paul Skenes leading our rotation for the next several years? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, Dodgers Nation.